Hello, and welcome to the Weyland-Yutani Corp's presentation on our trip to Japan. I am the team manager, Drew Schneider. The team members that will be presenting will be myself, Asata, Melissa, and Daniela. We will be presenting various things to remember when you on our trip to Japan in a few weeks. And then at the end, we will do a brief summary of the final points of the presentation. Daniela, if you please.
Thank you, Mr. Drew. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniela Fowler. I will be presenting on how the Japanese deal with their time and appointment. The Japanese attitude towards time is they are very punctual and it is very important to them. Arriving early shows that it shows a good respect for them. If you are arriving late, you have to call the contact person so that it will provide a suitable time for you. Usually, Japanese meeting exceeds the allotted time given them. So it is the best practice for you to not to schedule a back-to-back meeting. Let's go to the other slide. Japanese meeting have a high level of etiquette and protocol. Also, they have a seat which is at the back of the entrance of the room, and they call that seat the kamisa. That kamisa is reserved for important persons in the meeting. So you as a guest, if you are given that seat, it is expected that you accept it. Also, they are very conservative in their meeting and they dress formally when they want to attend their meeting. I will now hand over to Aisato, who will present the other slide.
Thank you, Daniela. Hello, everybody. My name is Asata Diaby, and for our trip in Japan, I will be presenting the communication and the personal space. For the communication, Japanese people like to communicate directly because of the body language, which means that is not what you're saying that is important for them. Is like how you're saying things is important for them. For this part, like if you compare to like French people, they will say that you have to say things. It's like they really like when you say things, they can understand you better than the body language. For the next slide, which is the personal space, Japanese is about respect. They like to have an amount of space between them and the other people in front of them. So they like to have this space with them so that they can have communication between them and the other person. And they rarely say no to things, which means like sometimes like when international business goes there and to have business with them, they really struggle because sometimes they cannot understand what they mean, Japanese people means, because if they maybe like they make some suggestion and they're not answering back, if they're not saying no to things, so maybe they will think that everything they're saying is good, which is not really true. Melissa will be presenting the next slides to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Asata. My name is Melissa and I'll be presenting about business cards and gifts and also about the appropriate attire in Japanese culture. Right? When you get a business card, for Japanese people, that is like an extension of their identity. So when you accept one, you accept them with both hands. And if you're standing up, you place that directly into your card holder. But if you're in a business meeting and you're on a table, you place the card on the table and at the end, you put it in the card holder. It is very disrespectful when you put it in your back pant pocket or if you put it in a wallet. So it's very handy to have a card holder. When you receive gifts is not really mandatory, but if the host gives you one, you accept it and you say thank you to everybody. If it's wrapped, then you open it once you leave. Now on to the next slide about dress and attire. In Japanese culture, they have the very clear ideology that you dress to impress, but not to stand out. So it is very common for business people to dress very nicely, very professional, and very suited. You don't see people wearing a jacket that is too big, or if you're a woman, you don't see them wearing pants since it's seen as offensive. So for both men and women, you both dress conservative and modest. And thank you for listening to me. Now we're going to go on to Drew.
Thank you, Melissa. Right. So, I'm going to be wrapping up this meeting with a brief introduction to travel alerts and warnings, as well as an introduction to Japanese currency. When we go to Japan, just keep in mind that there's no need to get vaccinated, though it wouldn't hurt. Diseases in a foreign nation can differ from diseases here in the US. Crimes against US citizens are at an all-time low in Japan. That being said, please be careful if you're going out to enjoy some entertainment on some of the Japanese nightlife. And be prepared for some of the more common crimes that affect even Japanese citizens, such as robberies, sexual assaults, and even pickpocketing. As for the Japanese currency, just keep in mind some very basic information. The Japanese currency is called the yen. One US dollar is equal to 109.41 yen, and it is often used in carry trades, which means that, for our company at least, they are used as a form of bartering. Because the yen is valued so low, it can be bought for cheap and then used to purchase currency in another country for much more than it is worth. So keep in mind that the yen, while not as valuable as the US dollar, can be used in a more profitable nature. With that being said, some things to keep in mind as we recap the entire presentation. It is important to keep their traditional values. They will not have the same traditional values that we have. So it is important, because we are in their country, to value their traditions over our own. Do not be disrespectful. That is very important. Keep your body language in check, since it means more than your actual words. To them, body language is more important than what you say. So, like Asata said, it is more about how you say something than what you actually say. Wear conservative and modest clothing. The Japanese are very strict about this. Do not wear something that they would view as immodest or disrespectful. And lastly, always, I cannot stress this enough, always be on time. Being late is a sign of blatant disrespect, and being early or on time are viewed as being respectful. If you're going to be late, inform the person that you're going to be meeting as soon as possible. Thank you, and I hope that our trip is successful.